any kind of system for making it more difficult for people to be that nice?
Well, we don't have a whole lot of the big 40 raid dungeons or 5 raid dungeons. We have some places where you have to do that, but the events that run in those are cooperative to begin with. So the person who's in there is probably going to want to go do everything. You're not likely to get some kind of a pickup group where the guy says, "Oh, I just need to go kill this guy." Yeah, the event that you run when you get in there is for all the guys. And in order to leave, we don't have a teleporter thing. He could run up and get himself killed and then show up in a regen pod. But
you can usually tell these guys because they're the ones that are saying, "Let's do this first. Let's do this first."
Right.
And the first one's going to drop you.
Yeah.
Let's do that last.
Yeah, and there's not a lot of opportunities for them to do that, and there's not a lot of motivation. One of the things that it eliminates that motivation by not having things like, "Oh, okay, I got to kill this guy because I need his gun. I need that piece of equipment off of him." And then once you find out whether that dropped or not, "Oh, okay, I'm leaving."
Right.
When you're not going to be getting gear like that to begin with anyway, and all you're really going to get off these bosses is the completion of the mission. Most of the missions are tied together in the instances anyway. You go in, you're doing the mission, and in order to complete it, you got to kill this guy, kill this guy, kill this guy, or just collect these types of items. Everybody's doing that in the course of it. Now, there may still be guys, the internet's full of jerks, and there'll be people who find ways. I know, I'm breaking news there.
Yeah, right.
But I think that's going to be...
My son told me there's a maxim. It's normal person, anonymity, and an audience.
Right.
Equals asshole.
Yeah. Doesn't take much.
I didn't say that.
Yeah. it does not take much to get that little nudge. I mean, people who you'd meet on the street and are just perfectly
normal
nice people. Yeah, given the
who
chance,
would never do that in real life.
Yeah.
But you put them in the game situation
where there's no real consequence.
There's no consequences to their actions. So that's why I'm a little bit backing having some consequence to things. I'm thinking maybe that's the next way to go. Maybe there's a group of people out there that might grab onto a game where there are consequences. For example, how do you award somebody like a level 40 who might come in and help a bunch of 30s trying to do a particular instance?
Right.
How are you going to reward that guy for doing that? Or he might not get any experience at all, or he might have done it 10 times before.
Right.
How do you motivate him to come in and help? Because in some games, like Lotro and even parts of World of Warcraft, if you don't get that help, you'll never complete that instance.
Right. Yeah, it's a hard thing to do. And right now, there's not a lot of that in what we've got so far, but it's the kind of thing we're going to be paying attention to. Like I said, we want to have the ability for people to come back to the earlier sectors and have encouragement to do that. Where you get your cool car and you drive back to Depot 66 after you've been there and gone on to whatever level you've shot to over the months and years. And,
Lotro's done a little of it, but they haven't done very much.
Right.
They have a system whereby if you go back for epic quests and you enter by talking to somebody near the entrance to the thing, to the quest, that you get a special bonus out of it.
Right.
But that's only for epic quests.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like, you've given them a little bit,
right.
a bite out of the apple, but you haven't given them the apple.
Yeah.
And that's kind of, I don't know. I don't know why they're reluctant to go all the way.
Mm-hmm. Maybe they just
lack of commitment.
Well, I don't know if it's lack of commitment or if they just want to see how this part works. If they give this much, how does that function? Before they throw off.
They might be seeing what's going to happen.
Right. They kind of want to see where it goes. It would be my guess, and that's the kind of thing I think we would do over time.
It's experimentation, in other words.
Yeah, and doing that a little bit at a time rather than throwing out a whole bunch at once and maybe ruining the game.
Yeah.
We've seen that happen before.
It's happened. Yeah.
And very publicly. And
Star Wars Galaxies
that definitely
made
comes
major
to mind.
changes.
Yeah, and ended up upsetting a lot of people. So I don't know that something like that would upset people. It might make them go, awesome, I've got more stuff. But from a game balance perspective, you definitely want to look at things.
There are a lot of people that want to pull the ladder up after they've gotten there.
Sure.
I've
got mine.
I got mine. Make it more difficult for the ones in the future. And a lot of game designers go along with that. They'll make the game more difficult for the other people. To kind of protect their
although you don't see as much
base.
of that on Warcraft. I mean, Warcraft kind of went the other way. They make it much easier to get through those first 60 levels so you can get to the Outlands and move on to the Northrend content. So I don't think it happens everywhere like that. But you can see it, and it's something I think we want to avoid. And one of the nice things about the leveling process that we've got is because, level 2 to 3, not that huge a jump. Level 3 to 4, not that huge a jump. It's kind of gradient, and it's a smaller gradient.
The thing that
than you feel.
a lot of times you'll go back and you'll play the original starting characters, and they're actually more fun than your level 60 character.
Yeah.
You go, gee, this is a lot of fun. Now I got to go, when I go play my 60 character, I'm getting killed 5,000 times.
Mm-hmm.
When I play the other one, I actually get through the missions every once in a
Right,
while.
and some of them have a lot of heart and creativity and things that you might not see later on until the expansions
that's true.
where a lot more of the cool stuff came in.
It's amazing because a lot of games are like that too. Bard's Tale comes to mind. The first parts of that were really great. The second Bard's Tale, not the first Bard's Tale, the one that was brought out by In Exile.
Mm-hmm.
And after that, you didn't have the same personality in the main character. You didn't have the same writing. The quality was gone. And everybody wanted to see that guy be the same guy all the way through, but it ended up being the same old
mm-hmm.
after the first few towns.
Yeah.
And so that's really something you got to be careful of because it costs money to do stuff that well.
Right.
It costs a lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
Time,
to do it right.
effort.
Yeah, and hard to find the people for it in a market like this where, there's quite a few companies all fighting for the same people, and, being a scrappy MMO, it's got its merits. It's a lot of fun, being the underdog, but, if you come out ahead, it's awesome.
Yeah, well, you've got to make at least enough subscriber base in order to survive long enough to do the really good work.
Yeah, I think we've done a lot of good work already, but there is definitely the sense that, okay, once we have a lot of support and we can get more technical people to do the things we really want to do, more technical people, because the guys we have are awesome, but there's so much left that we want to get done.
Well, there's just so much one person can do.
Exactly. So, we've got a good group of guys, but more help would be good, and more money will help with that.
Yeah. Well, listen, it's been great talking with you.
You too.
Keep us informed and let us take a look at some of your products. I'd love to take a look at the actual game to play some in the closed beta.
Sure.
If that's possible.
Did you already sign up with Jess?
No, I haven't signed up with anybody.
Okay. Let's get Jess to sign you up.
All right.
Actually, yeah, give me your card, and I'll make sure she gets that, and we'll...
Yeah, she knows... I'm pretty sure I've talked to her email-wise prior to this time. So
okay. All right, well, I'll make sure she gets it, and we'll see what we can do for you.
I noticed you have Edgar on your...
I do. It's one of my favorite T-shirts, and I'm like, we're going to Baltimore? Gotta have this.
Amazing. Yeah, he was a great writer.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, he had a very sad life, but...
he did some really good work. I especially liked his mysteries that he did.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, some of his poetry is really good too. Very depressing sometimes, but
yeah,
he had
definitely
a rough life.
depressing.
Yeah,
it's just what you want to do is wall yourself up in the wall and.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of booze to drink, but
yeah,
Yeah,
among other things. Thanks again, guys.
Nice to meet with you too.